This week's DRM Not Included on F5 Live Refreshing Technology is proudly powered by Amazon Prime. We all know that you get free shipping on millions of products with Amazon Prime, but you get a whole lot more. Like free music with Amazon Prime Music, free TV, movies, and documentaries with Amazon Prime Video, free games, and a free Twitch subscription to support the content creator of your choice with Amazon Prime Gaming, plus a whole lot more. We've got links to all of these features and some of our favorites, plus a 30-day free trial, all by going to f5live.tv/prime. Let's talk not about AI for a little bit. And instead, let's talk about sports. There has been a sports streaming service that has been in the works for a little while. We found out some details about it, including the name. I have not heard it spoken. I've only seen it written. And I'm going to guess that it's Venu, Venu, because that would make sense for sports. But it is a partnership platform between Disney, which is ABC and ESPN, Fox, which obviously is Fox Sports, and Warner Brothers Discovery, which if you... Oh no. I got this a little wrong. I'll have to fix it. Which owns everything. Turner, for example. So lots of sports brands under that one. So Venu will combine the offerings of all of these services together into one mega service, including a bunch of the ESPN stuff, Fox Sports, which means F1 racing, and a whole bunch of other services. They specifically want to position this service as the one-stop shop for sports fans. Of course, there are some glaring omissions here. The NFL, for example, is spread out across everybody. This coming season, Netflix is getting in on the action. Amazon Prime has content. NBC, CBS. The NFL's everywhere. The Olympics, exclusive broadcast and streaming rights in the United States go to NBC Universal, who's not part of this partnership. Premier Soccer, not part of this, because again, that contract is with NBC in North America, or at least in the U.S. Non-stop or one-stop shop, maybe not, but certainly a great home for a lot of stuff, right? With ESPN, lots of stuff comes along with that. You've got things like TNT and TBS that have a lot of basketball. There certainly will be a lot of content here. While we have a name and a logo, an ownership group, content, what we don't have is a detailed launch period or a launch date. We have a launch period. It's expected fall of 2024. That was the expectation kind of all along, even before the name and all that was announced. We also don't have a price. Analysts have a number, and they're thinking it could be $50 a month. I don't know about you, Avram, but I get annoyed at $17 or whatever it is for Netflix. 50 is a pretty steep number.
Seems like we're back at cable.
Yeah, exactly.
We're back at cable. It's just a matter of who's getting paid. Which I guess I appreciate that this has kind of opened the business model up.
Is it a case of who's getting paid? Not. Because it's Disney, it's Warner, it's Fox, Paramount is Paramount, Hulu is Disney, Peacock is Comcast. We're kind of in a similar boat. There are exceptions, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. There is room for like some smaller names, but
There's also
increasingly
room.
those smaller names are
There's also room for Netflix, who isn't any of those
right.
companies.
So Netflix isn't any of those companies, and then you also have stuff like I don't know I don't know if Crunchyroll is now owned by somebody big or whatever, but
I think it's
there's
owned by
always
Sony.
like okay, so there's stuff. Who owns BritBox? Is that uh, let's see, founded by BBC Studios and ITV. So they don't own a cable service, do they? I mean,
Not here.
not here, right? Um, I mean, there's
It's
there's
Sony.
little services. What
Crunchyroll is
Sony owns?
Sony.
What Crunchy? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's just always like I don't know who owns Shutter.
Well, that's an
But you're
interesting
right.
one.
I don't have Shutter or whatever, but I'm just saying.
And
Owned and
there's,
operated by AMC.
which I guess technically does have. Well, I think the AMC networks are might be owned by Turner.
Yeah. Okay. You can't win exactly. So,
It's
but
like trying to find.
But you
It's
know
like
what?
trying to find ice cream that's not owned by Unilever. You know.
But but still, you have one thing that's kind of interesting is that you have a situation where, like, it used to be that you were paying Verizon or Comcast or Cox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all this money, and then they were sort of paying the carriage fees.
Yeah,
And now we've sort of cut out the middleman,
yeah,
um,
it's true.
which which net neutrality, I guess, or at least the appearance of it has helped, right? Because otherwise they could say, oh, you can, you have to buy your Netflix through us if you want it to
Right,
come, or Netflix has to pay us off or whatever. So
right.
it's um, now those companies are a dumb pipe, which is what I want from them, right? I don't want the company that controls the wire to the internet connection in my house to control the content that I'm getting over it.
Right.
But nevertheless, you're right. It is a lot of consolidation, and it is kind of out of control how many different things there are. But I think what this proves is that you know businesses are trying to make money in this age and in this day and age, and we're unfortunately the models that used to bring money in are not as effective.
Right.
Getting just running on advertising alone is not. I mean, for some things they're able to do it, but a lot it's like now it's advertising plus subscription fee,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, and
And
so they have to charge subscription fees.
sometimes you can pay the subscription fee to have no ads and still get ads for the platform that they go, oh, but that's not an ad. That's
That's
sorry, I
promotion.
Paramount Plus. It's been driving me nuts lately. I pay for the no ads,
Yeah.
but I keep getting ads for Paramount Plus on Paramount Plus. I'm already a subscriber. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
The internet's still a wild place. But yeah, it's still a lot of the same companies that were involved in cable, but we're getting to piecemeal it out some, right?
Mhm.
But then on the other side, we've talked about it many times. Subscription fatigue is real. People are getting tired of
Yeah.
all these of little subscriptions. $5 here and $10 there and $3 here. This one's gonna be $50,
Yeah.
bud. This
Yeah.
one's gonna be $50.
Yeah, that's really significant. I mean, listen, I wish that, we lived in a world where all of my needs except this were provided. Then then we could have a wonderful discussion about like how to use my disposable income, right? Like, you know, give me, all my food, my medical care, my house, and then I can decide if I want to spend my money on Netflix premium plan or on the sports network or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think for most people, all of these things kind of cut into their necessities. And what what can you do to not spend this money? Don't watch something,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I'm really tempted to, it's something I have to kind of just to discuss with my wife because there's certain things that she likes to watch. But periodically, I'll just say like, "Hey, are you still watching this channel? When's the last time you watched it? Because I want to. Because maybe I should cancel it." Um, I canceled one the other day. I was not watching. I subscribed to Acorn TV. They didn't have a lot going on. So, and it was like an annual subscription. So if you had like one chance a year to cancel it, right? And
Yeah.
so I did.
those are
But
those are always rough. Those annual things.
and then what kills me is, um, what kills me is that like a month later they had put on a show that I wanted to see.
Of course.
uh,
Isn't that always the way?
right, right. Um, so
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes for a couple of reasons, right? The first is the price. $50 a month, upwards of $50 a month is a lot of money. And I think that's going to be really limiting for the service. But there's also another interesting thing here. It's three media companies coming together to create a merger streaming service. Where have we heard this before? Oh, yes, Hulu. Hulu started as a joint venture between three of the four broadcasters. It was ABC, NBC, and Fox, which at the time were Disney, I think technically GE, and News Corp. At one point, Turner came in and bought 3 1/3% from everybody. They had 10%. Then they ended up leaving, and then everything with Paramount went the way it went. And now Hulu is owned by Disney because they bought Fox and then they bought Comcast out, and now Hulu Plus is just owned by Disney. So, and as that has happened, content has fallen off, right? NBC's stuff is no longer on there anymore, and the Fox stuff that didn't come over in the the buyout isn't on there anymore, and the Turner stuff is, I think, shows up a lot on Hulu now, or on Netflix now. I saw Archer just hit Netflix, the last season did, which is Turner. So, we watched content start falling away as that relationship changed, and it's always possible that we see the same thing here, right? There's always the possibility that this relationship starts out great, and then over time, partners start shedding off because they're not as interested in it, or they want to go build their own thing like Comcast did with Peacock, or whatever it is. It may start out great and end up being something very different than it is today. They might lose licenses for sports, and all of a sudden now it's less interesting. It's an interesting gamble for both the companies and for consumers to put faith into. So,
yep, it certainly is.
it's an interesting idea. Obviously, sports is big business, and I can understand why these companies, who each have, partial licenses for things, would want to come together to create this behemoth. But so much of sports is so fractured. The NFL is always the best example because you can watch different things from the NFL on NBC, ABC, ESPN, CBS, Fox, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and YouTube TV. And then there's the NFL Sunday Ticket. It's all over the place, right?
Yep. It's too much. It's too much.
So nobody's ever going to be able to consolidate, and in fact, the likelihood is that over time they will lose access to stuff. So I don't know. I understand the idea. I just don't know how long it's going to work for. And if people aren't that interested in subscribing to ESPN Plus, I don't know, for like $10, I don't entirely know how they think that adding Warner and Fox into this is going to take it to 50. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely.
Yeah. But
I mean, whatever. They're trying to get their money, but good luck with that.
Indeed. But I guess we will see when this thing launches exactly what it ends up looking like and how it's received. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to PLUGHITZLive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.